If you're new to our channel, we spend our weekends at our off-grid cabin digging a tunnel into the hillside through solid rock. That might sound crazy, but the craziest part is, we're doing it just for fun. Hope you enjoy. Man, that is freezing out here this morning. I think it's minus 27 with a wind chill of about minus 2,000. Gonna go down, see how warm it is in the tunnel, see if it's feasible to actually do anything down there today. It's colder than I was hoping, but we'll see what we can get done. Nice and warm in here so far, but it'll cool down quickly with this door wide open. Still got everything left out from a couple days ago. So I came up a day midweek this week, done some tunneling off camera. Nothing personal, but it's a lot easier tunneling without you guys looking over my shoulder. Made quite a bit of progress there, took out this whole back chunk. I'm back as far as I go, really without roof supports. So now I got to clean it up and start working my way down. This is the section that starts to get deeper. Hoping to get it down to around 6 feet deep. But anyways, I'm going to get right to it here before it cools down here too much. So when I was here earlier in the week, I left all my tools out, everything unorganized. So I'm going to organize them, put them all to the side. And then because it's so cold out, I'm going to try to not run the winch today. It's just too miserable, too cold on the fingers out there. So I'm going to try to separate the rock and the finer muck here out of the tunnel and move it closer to the door so I can haul it out on another day. And then that way I can keep jackhammering and keep making a little bit of progress. But we'll see how it goes. If it gets to be too much in here, I might have to give in and run the winch or just leave it for now till warmer weather. But we'll see what we can do. So I've been trying to separate the usable rock and the more finer, sandier muck. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start pulling that stuff back and separating it and try to get a little more working face. So I don't think it's going to be feasible keeping all this muck in the tunnel and keep digging. I think I have to bite the bullet, get the winch fired up. But before I do have Big Bertha out. I'm going to break off a little bit of that ledge right there, just to get a little more wiggle room. So basically everything in this tunnel is quartz. Seems like this whole working face. It's all this quartz with the iron rust through it all. And all sorts of other minerals mixed in. So this right here, back, if I get a better perspective, all this here is quartz. All this here is quartz. Then looks like it tapers in. There's a band right across the ceiling of the tunnel right here where the vein went up like that. But down in the bottom, it's really wide. It's pretty much the whole tunnel. And I've been hitting it now for, I don't know, it's probably been 3 feet thick. And at this point, it's 5 inches thick. So it seems like we're kind of right on the top of it. Makes it hard digging, but keeps it interesting. So I just broke open this piece of quartz. I'm seeing this. Trying to get the right lighting here in the tunnel. Try to hold steady here in the light. The light's so bright, it's kind of washing it out. Man, this sure looks gold-like here. Apologize for the shaky video. It's all along that face. Just kind of crouched down trying to film it here, but the bright work light is washing out the color. But it is so gold-like. I had to bring this up to the cabin and look at it with the jeweler's loupe. I've never seen none of the other mineral deposits that look like this. Let's go up and check it out. So this is holding the jeweler's loupe up to my phone. You can see these little crystal-like structures growing out of right there. I don't know what they are, but I don't think they're gold. Must be pyrite again. But I did see something look very gold color a minute ago. Now I can't find it again using my phone. It's kind of an awkward setup here. See another little pocket down in there, whatever that stuff is. So I'm back down in the tunnel, about to start tunneling again. It's a bit of a weird feeling. I started this tunnel just to tunnel, not to look for gold. Never even crossed my mind, really. But now that I've hit this big quartz vein that looks so goldish, for lack of a better term, it almost feels irresponsible not to look for it. And that kind of takes a little bit of the fun out of the tunnel and kind of adds a little bit of excitement, but yet takes something away at the same time. It's a bit of a weird feeling. But anyways, back to digging. Another pocket of something. So I think I've hit the point where I can't go any farther without taking some of this muck out of here. So I'm going to go out and see if I can get the winch running, haul some of this out. I don't know, it's pretty cold out, but we'll give it a try. I'm probably not going to film very much of that because it's so cold out there, the camera doesn't last very long. So I'll leave the electronics in here, see what I can get done. It's actually so cold that the muck in here is starting to stiffen up on top, starting to freeze a little bit. But still a lot warmer than outside, that being said. But anyways, I may as well go face it. Look at it out there, just like the Arctic. Beautiful day other than it's bitter cold and that wind is blowing through. Remember the part about this being for fun? It's cold out. Oh. I'm actually just kicked back here in the tunnel for a minute, warming up. It's pretty cold out there. Got all the rock out, now I'm hauling out the finer muck. A lot of work. So after about my 6th or 7th load of muck out of here, a comment that a viewer made probably 5 or 6 videos ago popped in my head, and it finally hit me to give it a try. I'd forgotten all about it, and it's changed my life. So I got to give credit where credit is due. I can't remember your name, but you might remember it yourself. So thank you. Here's the suggestion. Once you see it, it's shockingly obvious. Sometimes you get caught in a rut of doing the same thing over and over and don't think to try something new. But I just smashed the end out of the sled right here. Now I can just back it up to the pile and haul it in with the, I can't remember what that thing's called. Muck hoe. We'll call it that for now. But it works so nice. So once again, can't remember your name, but thank you. That's so much easier. Maybe not be able to take quite as much, but it doesn't matter. Oh, got that done. That was 3 solid hours of hauling that stuff out of there. Shoveling and dragging it out and dumping the cart over and laying it out flat. Glad to have it done now. Tunnel's looking good though. All mucked out. Ready to start hammering again. You can see where that hoe is laying. There's quite a bench right there. Believe it or not, that whole bench is quartz. So that's what I'll hit tomorrow. Start smashing that out of there, taking it down. Should go a lot nicer now that I've got room to work. Looking forward to it, actually. Should be all inside work tomorrow out of the cold. But anyways, that's a wrap for this day. I'm heading up for something to eat. That's the thing with tunneling. Even when it's easy, it's really hard. Quite steamy in here this morning. It is bitter cold outside again. I could do no filming out there. Your bare hands will freeze in a second. It was minus 28 this morning. That was after daylight. I don't know what it got down to during the night. But anyways, I'm going to get right to it right here. Start breaking this out. So I'm actually doing something I've never done before. I've partially closed the tunnel door while I'm in here, just to try to retain some of the heat. We'll see how dusty it gets. Obviously I'm wearing a mask all the time as well, but it's so cold out there. Hopefully this makes it a little more workable in here. Right now it's nice. I got my gloves off. I don't know what it'd be. I guess probably 8 or 10 degrees Celsius maybe. So in the last video I mentioned that I was going to try using some feather and wedges here to break some of the rock. And when I came up on Thursday, I brought some up with me and give it a try. And I have to admit, I was totally impressed. It's crazy how easy they function, how easy they break the rock. And so I owe some apologies to some of the people in the comments that I dismissed, saying they'd be no good in a tunnel. They actually work quite well. But on that note, here's one issue I did have. I've got a couple stuck up here. As you can see, they did crack the rock all the way along here, but the rock is still jammed in. So before I start taking out the lower bench, I'm going to drill up through here, just try to break those out, just to close that chapter in my life. Then I can work on the lower bench. I think that should be deep enough. Tap that up in there. Going out. So I'm actually going to try the same technique here on this quartz ledge. Just going to drill, tap in a couple feathers and wedges. Every time I can make them work, saves a charge or two. So a charge is $2.50, so it doesn't take long to actually save some money using those. They're only, I think they're $27 for an 8-pack of feathers and wedges, 5/8 in diameter. So let's see what we can do. This quartz here is actually a lot harder than the rest of it's been. Just try two, see what happens here. Chances are I'm going to get them stuck. So it did actually split the rock right in behind, right here, right on across. But like I feared, it's still jammed in there, so I'll drill a couple more holes to split it up smaller. Okay, so this quartz is a lot harder than everything I've encountered so far. So I think I'm going to go ahead and try blasting it. I'm going to eat at my bit too fast, drilling 1,000 holes for these feather and wedges. I don't want to give you the wrong impression with them. I've been impressed. The breaking all this harder gray rock, whatever that is, breaks no problem. But this quartz is not cracking at all. Or it's cracking, but it's jamming in. It's not breaking consistently or evenly. So you can't really predict which way it's going to break. So we'll try drilling some blasts. In previous videos, I tried blasting the softer quartz out here. Didn't work very well, but this stuff's so hard, I think it should work well. Drop in 1, 2. All the way down. That's seated in there. The Walmart sandbag in previous videos didn't work very well, so we're going to try the balanced rock approach. Okay, let's back up and blow this thing. Okay, I'm hoping I got the camera far enough out of the way. Pull this hose outside the tunnel door. Let her blow. Fire in the hole. It does have some big fractures in it, but didn't actually move much. Surprised. Actually, I think I'm going to get the big jackhammer and just try to force it into those cracks to see what happens. So as you've seen, it's slow going there, but it actually broke through, and on the backside it seems to be getting more into the rotten quartz again over here. It's really mineralized. So here's a chunk I just pulled out. See, there's mineral pockets in this quartz. Big patch of something rusty in there. Again there. I don't know what to do. Tiny fleck of something right there. Here's one of the big hard chunks I pulled out. See, it's got pockets in it as well. Hard not to get shadows down in here, but another piece here I just pulled up off the floor. Hard to get it in focus down here in this light. But in this light, everything looks like gold. You see a little pocket right in there? No, my luck, I've probably thrown $1 million gold out of the tunnel already. Man, it sure looks promising. Everything I've seen online. So I went and got a better light so I can light this up better for you. Give you some perspective. So that's that ledge I've been breaking off. So out here where it's been really hard, if you look, it's like pure crystals, like almost got a bit of a grayish purplish hue to it. That slowly goes back and gets this more marbly look. That's the line where I blasted earlier. Then over here to the right hand side, it gets more rotten, more iron staining in it. So there you can see the gray rock on top, then the quartz vein. So this thing is massive. You see right here again, you see the gray rock on top, then the quartz vein. So you see this section right here has a totally flat face facing me, almost 90 degrees across the tunnel. But this is all quartz here as well, comes all the way out to at least my knees, maybe a little farther. So it's probably 4 feet from my knees to that face right there. So I'm kind of seeing now that the vein's been going up on an angle from basically the tunnel floor up to that notch there, more or less. Wasn't perfect, but that's the general lay of the land. You can see it kind of coming up on an angle here. But then if you get in here, hurting the old knees crawling around in here. So again, there's that ledge. You can see the narrow band of quartz going up through the ceiling. Doesn't really line up with the big quartz that I'm breaking through on the bottom. And I don't know what the proper term is, but you can tell here it's like really bonded with the host rock that it's in. But down below where I'm breaking it out, there's a distinct seam between the quartz and the rest of the rock. This line up here has been different, and it's a lot narrower, but it's pretty rusty as well. So again, out here where I was jackhammering is really hard. Goes back through, gets soft along this edge, and then right where this hard bench of quartz I've been breaking on joins into that flat face, there seems to be a little bit of a line of softer stuff right in between, like rotten quartz, all rusty and mineralized. And if I get right in here, this is that narrow band of quartz up in the ceiling. There's pockets of whatever that stuff is. See there, all down through there. So if you follow this quartz vein down towards the big main one that I'm sitting on, you can see it kind of ends right there, at least the wide part of it ends. And then you get to these little narrow bands of the completely rotten quartz. You see they kind of follow the grain up, and I can almost break them with my bare hands. One little tap with the hammer and they all break apart. And they're sandwiched between this other stuff. It's really flaky, whatever that is. Okay, so here's where it stands as of right now. To be fully honest, I have no knowledge about what I'm doing here at all when it comes to the geology of the quartz and whatnot. Just what I know, I've learned from watching YouTube videos. And I don't know what I've seen there, if it's relevant to my location or not. And so I could really use some of you more knowledgeable geologists and prospectors to weigh in here. Tell me, am I wasting my time? Should I look into this deeper? And give me some insight as to what to do. Like I said, I don't know if the stuff I've seen on YouTube is relevant to my area. Keep in mind, I'm kind of on the southern edge of the Precambrian Shield in Ontario. So most all the gold prospecting channels are in the Western North America. So I don't know if that's relevant to this location or not, but it sure looks similar to everything I'm seeing online. So I have crushed up a little bit of the quartz and pan, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 pans full now over the last several months. Never actually seen anything that looked like gold to me, but I must confess that I'm not very confident in my abilities as of yet. So I don't know, is a professional assay something that somebody off the street can just go and get? And what's it cost? Is it $5 or $5,000? I don't know if it was something reasonable amount. Maybe it was something I'd look into, but just to give me a little more confidence in which way to proceed here. But anyways, if you do have any knowledge in this, I would love you to weigh in and let me know what you think. In the meantime, I'm going to fire the jackhammer back up, try breaking out the rest of this ledge right here. At least get that done. And all this stuff I'm going to set to the side for now, so I can decide what to do with it all. So just been working my way back through this bench. Check out this big deposit here. Whatever that is 1 inch across and 3/4 of an inch tall. So I think if I can get the winch running again out there in the cold, I'm going to try to haul this quartz out of here and clean up this face again and see what I'm left with. Got it all cleaned out. So you can see that's the beginning of that quartz vein. And there's the quartz wall behind it. So put in perspective, from the bottom right there to the top of that quartz vein is probably a solid 30 inches or more. But if you look in behind this, you see you got a quartz ridge here. Look right there, I think I've busted down through the bottom of the quartz vein, at least in that area. It's that kind of layered, sparkly stuff. You kind of tear it up in lifts. It's not very hard. I'm not sure what that is. Sure one of you guys will know better. Yeah, as a tunnel, it's going well. As for gold prospecting, I have no idea what I'm doing. I need your help, guys. I'll take any useful info you guys have. Give me your opinions on what to do here and how to proceed. So it didn't really catch my attention till right now. But check this out. This is that wall of quartz again. Starts right there. Goes down to there. But if you look, there's distinct layers in it. Right here. There's actually a layer of mud. It runs all the way up through, all the way down through, wider than the tunnel on either end. Then there's another one right here. Same thing, runs up through, and there's actually like a red sandy mud coming out of it. And actually there's water seeping out of it right there. Looks like there was three. You can actually see the layer comes over here as well. There's three distinct layers of quartz here. The top layer seems to be the hard stuff. I can actually pull that away there, I think, by hand. You can kind of see the whole face is moving. That's weird. It's cracked up around. I don't think I've blasted it against his face here at all yet. So it's kind of falling apart here. So that's kind of interesting. Wonder what the significance of that is. These right here look like newer cracks, but I have no recollection of blasting it against that face or into that face. It's going to be interesting to start breaking into that next weekend. Well guys, I hope you guys find this as interesting as I do. And once again, thanks for watching. Take care.